Now, talking about those stories that have been making headlines, and according to this particular daily, which is a copy of the Standard, is what awaits the next president. We're talking about where we are in as far as fiscal policy is concerned. Yesterday, Senate gave a go-ahead in regard to raising the debt ceiling to 10 trillion shillings to give the government, the next government that is, some wiggle room. But according to Treasury opines that in the first 4 months of this year, the National Treasury inked a deal amounting for 400 billion shillings and has already received 200 billion shilling, which means it had already reached its, target for this particular financial year. We're talking about 2021, 2022. Now we're talking about 2023, 2024. In that regard, Treasury projections is that the next president will have to raise the debt ceiling within the first 2 financial years, with now given that we have already raised it to 10 trillion shillings. The wiggle room in the next financial year, that is 2020 to 2023, being 500 billion shillings, as is by the end of this particular financial year, which is 2021, 2022, that culminates in June 30th. We're going to be looking at a 9.5 trillion shillings debt, with a budget deficit of around 864 billion shillings. Pushing the debt to 9.5 trillion shillings. Some quick statistics. By the time that President Uhuru Kenyatta was taking over from the late President Mwai Kibaki, we had a public debt pegged at 1.8 trillion shillings. Now, as it stands, we are looking at 9.5 trillion shillings. This has put a lot of question into how will we repay this particular debt? Your guess is as good as mine. Kulipa ushuru ni kujitegemea. Just to remind you that if you haven't filed your tax returns, you have under 2 weeks to do so, the deadline being June 30th. And the KRA and its staff have revised their working hours and schedules to accommodate you to avoid last minute, as we have always seen over the years, with Kenyans rushing in either to do those applications online or manually, and at times stalling that particular online platform. So if you haven't filed your returns, it's a high time that you did so. So the front page is about where Kenya is at in as far as matters of its fiscal policy. What awaits the next president? Indeed, this is not going to be a walk in the park for the next regime, so to speak. 9 trillion shillings there. By the end of this particular financial year, we are looking at 9.5 trillion shillings with just but a wiggle room of 500 billion shillings. Development has to go on. Debt repayment has to be put into question. How do we finance such? Those are the questions that economists and tax experts are probably working on at this point, and we're going to be keeping tabs on that as far as the business desk is concerned. Now, it's the end of an era of an opaque government. Why? And this is because President Uhuru Kenyatta launched a myriad of projects yesterday that will make the government operations more transparent and help curb corruption and cost of governance. In a nutshell, we have the RC SASA, that's a digital platform for land information management systems. Remember, the issue of land ownership has been a thorn in the side and the flesh of many Kenyans, many being swindled from their birthrights. Either you do an investment, and at the end of the day, you find that you and other 5 people are owning one particular piece of land. This has been quite something. So the digitization platform for digital platform for land information management, dubbed RTSASA, is meant to make these things more transparent and an accountable process therein. Talking about our resources and where we are in as far as matters of oil and gas, even with the exit of some investors, including Talo Oil. Well, Kenya has launched the Kenya Online Mining Cadre System to identify all mineral locations. We need to know where our deposits are in as far as resources, so that we can be able to plan accordingly, to utilize them. So airborne geophysical survey, that's updating the geological information and mineral resources too. This is something that has been in the pipeline, I think, for the last 5-6 years or so, to just have a geomap showing us where, if indeed we have these gemstones, where are they, what are the amounts, how can we exploit that to shore up our reserves in as far as the economy is concerned. The national address system, this is something, and we know some members of even the private sector was willing to come in and work with the government in regard to this. We had the online platform Jumia there coming out and saying that they want to participate in this so that it can, since it's in an e-commerce platform there, you know, delivery of your parcels can be easy. Those who use Google Maps, so to speak, sometimes that lady who is giving you directions doesn't quite get it, and you end up getting lost therein. So this national address system is going to enable, you know, travel, deliver service, just simple. Courier services are likely to be very easier and smoother if this comes into effect. Facilities mapping, that is mapping of schools, hospitals, police installations, roads and state offices. We have the National Forest Resource Assessment in light of matters of climate change. This is going to be coming into force. We have the Nairobi Revenue. This is a GIS-based system for revenue collection. This is going to go a long way in enhancing the activities of the taxman there to help them meet their targets. Then TIFA Pay, the universal payment gateway for all government services through mobile, bank and card channels. This is a particular government project that is bound to make transactions transparent, make the government more accountable to its citizenry. Talking about the region, Kenya is to lead a peace mission in DRC Congo. Remember, President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday, or the day before yesterday, had met heads of the East African region there to try and see the way forward in making sure that DRC Congo does not spill over to full-blown war, so to speak, with now developments coming out from that region is that the DRC is not so open to having Rwanda be part of the peace mission, having blamed them for supporting and even some financing the M23 rebels. That is just but a sneak peek of the front page of this particular daily, with also the popularity poll there putting Sakaja at the top in as far as the Nairobi governor race is concerned.